Hello, everyone. I hope you all have been enjoying your week. Unfortunately, I have been unavailable for most of the week because of hospital visits for having contracted a virus uh, that has affected my eyesight. As you can see, my eyes are still not there yet. They're both infected and everything. But they have said that it might take a couple of weeks before they're completely cleared. I'm hoping for sooner, but we'll see how it goes. As for this blog, I have been assigned the fourth chapter of the book E-Learning and the Science of Instruction by Clark and Mayer, in which it addresses the proper use of multimedia when instructing students online. It not only addresses the proper use, but also describes the best ways to design the graphics in which can increase the possibility of a student's learning experience. The chapter asks several questions, such as, does the experience level of the learners matter when developing media? It also spends a lot of time on the topic on whether the media should be interactive, static, or other. After this, the chapter goes on in helping the reader choose the right multimedia that will help develop the learning experience for the students. First of all, the question is asked, do visuals make a difference in a way a student learns or takes in new information? The chapter demonstrates that it is important to include words and graphics when presenting learning information. The consensus behind this notion is that it's imperative for the student's learning experience when multimedia is added. However, this also requires balance. Just because an e-learning environment contains graphic doesn't necessarily mean that the multimedia is effective. There are several types of graphics that are mentioned that support learning, such as decorative graphics, representational graphics, relational graphics, organizational graphics, transformational graphics, and interpretive graphics. However, it does not mean that all graphics can be applied to the same information or to the same audience for that matter. Now it is easy to think that static images are less effective than images that actually that are physically moving. However, it is not about how many bells and whistles it already has. It depends on how well it can demonstrate what the information is trying to say to the students. Secondly, there are psychological reasons for using multimedia. People can learn more deeply from the words and graphics than from text by itself, especially in the very beginning. This is especially true for new learners who are still being acquainted with the subject that they are seeking to learn, or multimedia works the best for novices compared to just using text by itself. This is mainly because the multimedia helps the new student become more acquainted with the information, and they can actually visualize what they are trying to learn. Once they gain more information, both text and multimedia can be very useful for the experienced learner. Okay, now here is my review from what I've learned from that chapter. First of all, I could see that it doesn't matter how many bells or whistles a visual has to a learner. It all matters in how relevant the visuals are to the lesson, in which it makes a difference. For example, I right now live in a Goshiwan. It's a very small room. Got just a door right here. I got a small closet here, and then a bed right there. That's it. It's very, very small. I would have to say it's like Japanese style small. Um, it's like a dorm room, in which the room is just big enough to hold a desk and a bed. The laundry room, the kitchen, and the bathroom are all communal. Compared to a house or an apartment, it is not much. However, I was able to utilize the space that was given to me, and I've been able to make a home out of it. Um, Sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry. It took me a while to see what I was looking at there. Okay. It says, I usually write out what I'm thinking because I have a lot of trouble speaking in a camera. So I hope I'm not speaking too terribly fast. So, um, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask if I speak way too fast. Okay. All right. I told my friend who complained about how small how small my room is that it's not the size of the room that matters. It is what you do with the space that is given to you that matters. So a learning environment may contain an illustration than a video. However, if the illustration is relevant to the information that is being taught, it can be more useful than the expensive computer program. I remember when I had to watch a computer program that was overloaded with all kinds of extras, it only distracted me then help enhance the learning experience. In fact, I did not do very well in that class, if I remember correctly. I get distracted very easily. So have found that, just simple PowerPoint with simple graphics that is relevant to what is being said works the best, at least for me. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm a visual learner, and that's something that needs to be considered um, when making multimedia. Is that you have to keep into account that there are several different types of learners. You got the visual learners, the auditory learners, and then you got the kinesthetic learners, um, which requires a lot of organization on the teacher's part. So basically, since I'm a visual learner, pictures do very well for me when multimedia is presented to me. I'm not a very good auditory learner. However, for some people, that works best for them. It's also best when they start combining them together and everything like that, which creates a very nice multifaceted learning experience for the student. I'm a very big fan of making sure to cover all aspects of uh, as I call it, information absorption. I'm not even sure if that's even a technical word, but that's what I've always called it. Information absorption, because since everybody's such an individual, everybody has a different way of absorbing information, and mine's visually, which is sad. I hope I get my vision back soon. So, all right. So the next one here. The number one rule when it comes to adding multimedia is that the simpler the better. Not only simpler, but the multimedia has to be relevant to what is being taught. I must admit, it did not really change my opinion all that much because I already designed PowerPoint media for classroom use and such. So this wasn't really new information for me. However, it was kind of cool to kind of see the different types of media that can be used when teaching a class, which I'm going to definitely look much more in depth about, like, for example, I set it up here. The list that I got the relational graphics, organizational graphics. I mean, you got charts and learning how to implement that using Excel. You can actually use Excel and being able to make a presentation for students. You don't have to just use PowerPoint. There's many different types of programs that you can use to go ahead and utilize this. So it wasn't really new information for me, but it did go ahead and confirm stuff that I've already known, and it's kind of nice to see it from uh, how do I say, um, an educated perspective and not just from my own personal experience. So it was really nice to see that. Um, um, this is relevant. This is relevant to my ISD project, where I can see how it can be very easy to overload a course with too much multimedia, especially when members are not aware of what the other person is doing. It can quickly become an unorganized mess and make the learning experience confusing for the learner. It also makes me feel fairly confident in what me and my team are doing. So overall, uh, how does this affect my graduation? Well, considering that this is for a certificate program, I'm hoping I can be able to go ahead and continue to utilize this information on making sure that I make the best type of multimedia for my students, because I still kind of teach online. I make programs for students and they can go ahead and look at it. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that part as far as my review is. I'm not crying, and I do apologize for that. So I'm going to be going back to the doctor tomorrow. This eye is starting to lose a bit of its vision, which is kind of a little scary. So please keep me in prayer for that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this presentation here, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. And I'd like to hear what you think. If you got any questions about it, feel free. I would love to answer any questions. All right, you have a great day. All right, bye.